What's good, y'all? What God put on my heart for me to share today is just too important, and I don't want to lose it. This is me being obedient, doing the best I can with what I got.
I do the best I can with what I got. Oh!
I'm running late because, can I be completely honest? Let me just be completely honest, because we're grown women here. I'm manifesting. And if it's some grown men here, just listen. Just listen. Just listen. Just listen. Sit down and learn you something if you're a grown man here. But I'm under the suspicion that it's mainly women up in here. This is girls talk right quick. So I had therapy today. It's been a hell of a week for your girl. I had every intention on vlogging throughout the whole week. I ain't gonna say Spirit had other plans, but like I said, life was life in this week. And I'm really enjoying applying this. And this is an old, probably more than likely expired foundation, ABH. I don't even know if they make this anymore. I just feel called to use my voice. And like, if ever were a time for me to identify that like my throat chakra is like, use us, it's in this moment. So we're finna go for a ride real quick. Therapy was hard. This week was hard. Shout out to my therapist because she gets me all the way together. And I'm so thankful for her because as a therapist, having a therapist is at this point a business expense because I get better therapy when somebody is therapizing me. What it is to be a therapist is to have a unique set of skills to help someone else process. And like, within your friendships is not particularly, even if you have therapist friends, within your friendships is not particularly the space to do that because what we do is an actual job and, you know, ethically working for free because facilitating healing is an energetic exchange. But off of that tip, either way, I need a therapist. Even I have plenty of therapist friends, I still need a therapist. That's not to say that I don't utilize them like when absolutely necessary, when I just need support or whatever have you. That's not to say that. But having a regular therapist of my own is a part of what enables me to give good care. So I say all that to say, how can I even start? So we get into therapy. I'm giving her updates. Then we start getting into the thick and juicy stuff. Shout out to her because, like I said, she's just so talented and she does what she really has to do. And I love her. Really, I've just been in a space of processing some of the harm I caused myself in my various attempts to lose weight in life. And like being a fat girl your entire existence, for as long as I can remember, I have wished to be skinny. Up until like very recently as an adult, but like my earliest memories, like being like taking a wishbone with my mom and like where we were, which is somewhere I lived in my very early life with her, and wishing to be skinny. It's like it takes up so much space of all of my memories as a child. Like even seeing a nutritionist, always being under like speculation of overeating, having a bad relationship with food and the kitchen, and doing various and dangerous things, might I add, to lose weight because I was so desperate to relieve myself and society from the experience. Like if I finally just lost the weight, then people will stop asking questions. If I finally just lost the weight, then maybe I wouldn't get in that as much trouble at home. Like if I finally just lost the weight, maybe my life would be easier. And I took one particular attempt, and that attempt was to take what is now seen and popularized as Ozempic. Back then it was Saxenda because I believe Ozempic or its Saxenda counterpart used to be only available for those with a diagnosis of diabetes. And like, despite being a big girl, I've never been diagnosed with diabetes, pre-diabetes. I've never had high blood pressure in a way that was concerning to the point that I got, you know, medication. I've had high blood pressure from one, doing keto, and two, taking a bunch of Mucinex D because I was so desperate for relief with my sinuses. And the pseudoephedrine is known to increase your blood pressure when you're on those medications. I say all of that to say my entire existence as a bigger body person has been wrong. There has never been a time where I don't want face jerking. Okay, we just gonna have to work with it. But there's never been a time in my existence where I can remember feeling at peace in my body. And like, I was just literally this morning, because I knew my homework for therapy was to identify unpleasant memories, things and experiences that bring me lower level distresses. And it's my homework this time too, because I ain't finished it, so we can build up my tolerance to process the big stuff. And that is her EMDR process. It's kind of similar to my brain spotting process. I want to get trained in EMDR, but that's not what this is about. Once we got into the thick of what we were gonna work on and like to the meat of the conversation, I told her, when I think I finally started posting on YouTube. And I think a part of the reason, amongst other things, but a part of the reasons why I held back from posting on YouTube was because I can honestly say there are times where pictures are taken of me and I'm in shock by how I look, because there's a distorted image by how either I see myself in the mirror, how I actually look, and how I show up on camera. And it was something that bothered me when I first started filming and like practicing and learning how to film, but it was something that I was like kind of pushing through, because I knew that to be like my critical voice thinking, and like the version of me that is still active, you know, silenced, proving that that's not how I need to think anymore, but still it's still a part of me. And I was actually telling my therapist today that it's not even that at this point I am shocked when I look in the mirror, because it does happen, but not to the point of like clinical intervention, because I'm actually pushing through that, which is what enabled me to post on YouTube and feel like, you know what, fuck it. Do I want some things in my body to change? Absolutely, because I understand health at large, but do I want to do it from a place of bullying, which is the place that I did it from before? No. And I'm having a hard time taking action. And the last time that I took significant action, I was taking Saxenda, and that medication made me form an eating disorder. I was throwing up so often because I could not figure out how to make my system tolerant of the medication, because nothing could stay down. And one thing about me, as much as I quote unquote wanted to lose weight so I could live a better, healthier life, what's most important on me are my teeth. And I was throwing up to the point where I was starting to see my enamel fade. And I've never had braces, which is why I cherish my teeth. But I said that to say, to highlight the significance of like, no, seriously, that medication was taking me out. And it was just this year where I threw away the old vials that I had, and I was holding on to them because I'm like, maybe I just did it wrong, and maybe in therapy and in my journey that I'll learn like a better way to cope. But actually recognizing that every time that I started to want to consider losing weight again, I thought about what I did just the last time and how that shit had me so fucking sick to my stomach that I just literally could not find the words for other people to believe me. And even my provider at that time, who was also pushing having gastric weight loss surgery down my throat. And I didn't like that provider. She blamed all of my ailments on the fact that I'm obese. And I'm just like, girl, I need you to be a better competent clinician or provider, physician, whatever, because if you were competent, you will also know that the BMI does not represent black bodies well, because our bodies are naturally denser. It also doesn't even represent weightlifters, athletes, and so on and so forth well. So like, while this number might indicate as a result of my height that I am obese, like, can we have some better ways of measurement? Let's look past that. And I have a degree in exercise physiology, so there's calibers that you could do, there's body weight ratios that you could do, all sorts of other stuff. And when I was getting that degree, I remember feeling so validated, knowing that there were other ways for me to measure my body other than BMI and other than getting on the scale and bullying myself because I'm an endomorph body type and it looks different for me. And just, again, so much trauma was unpacked today in session. And the main point was that I was telling her, like, I'm not even as, I don't know, like, it's not even as, I don't know what we were kind of comparing it to in session right now, but what I was highlighting to her is that if anything, like, I grieve for the version of me that endured that. I grieve for the version of me that felt like bullying herself to that degree was how you got it done. I grieve for the version of myself that now as a result knows no peace in their body. Like, I don't desire to be skinny. I desire to feel good in my body. And even when I was at my smallest, I did not feel good in my body. And like what I was telling her today is that like I feel like the strides that I'm making in therapy with processing my trauma in other regards, my insides don't match my outside. And not from an aesthetics person. I see the weight now and I'm starting to see resemblance of what I went through and how I am ready to not have the literal baggage, the emotional baggage of what I experienced with me in this season. And I think it was like a revolutionary, like we really unpacked and unlocked a big thing for us to, you know, continue our work in. But I say all of that to say I processed that. And back to the girl time part of this, I am reading Only for the Weak by Natasha Bishop, if I'm not mistaken. It's an incredible book. Shout out to Houston Public Library or Harris County Public Library, because if it was not for their Libby subscription, I would not be reading it. I'm in a dreamy, like kind of romantic but creative space and reading this book or whatever, and it's so good, so juicy, just outstanding literary work. And I was feeling inspired because one thing that I've noticed this here lately is that I'm not really that horny. Like my libido is a little bit lower than what I'm particularly used to, but I also know that's typically a side effect of depression. So it's like it'll be all right eventually is how I've been seeing it. And so I'm gonna do a pressed powder under my eyes because I'm trying to hurry up. I feel like one day I'm gonna properly balance the cheek to under eye ratio one day. And I'm rushing because I'm trying to not be that much later. And if she sees this, I'm sure she'll understand. But I was inspired by the book and I decided to try masturbating. And during it, I cried. And I have never cried before. So I'm like, okay, clearly we're tapping into a lot of sacral energy. If you know, you know, I'm a woo-woo girl. I love energy healing, and the sacral chakra is very, very special to me, and I can share that in another video. But long story short, I built my business off of it the first time, the dance studio that I used to own. And it was like a hindsight download of realizing what I did. But either way, I cried and I'm like, okay, a lot of creative and sacral energy is coming through. Like, just go with it. I went with it. I cried and I cried. It was beautiful. Wasn't expecting that. Never did that before. But like, woohoo. Like I said, woohoo, cried, allowed it to flow. Never had that before. And I also haven't been as charged to do such a thing. That was nice. But I was just recognizing like, yo, I'm feeling so many things so intensely. Like now I'm boohooing. Now I'm crying for real. Sat with that some more and just realized like I feel like I've hit another readiness of healing and commitment and preparedness of healing that will enable it to be an actual sustainable but healthy, like a nourishment way and not a deprecation because the way I exist is not good enough and I'm not allowed to exist in a fat body in America or in society. I had that realization literally just now. And then of course I see this beautiful work of art that I will post. My homegirl Maya, long story short, Maya and I used to live together as well, and my homegirl Maya did her rendering of her feelings around living in a bigger body, just giving herself permission to be, essentially. And that is like a gross understatement to the what she produced, but either way I saw it divinely timed today and it just brought confirmation in a way that I didn't know that I needed. And I'm so thankful for her to do that. Whew. Jeez Louise. That made me cry some more. And then I realized like, okay, we are so behind on time. I want to add a little bit more blush. And this is how I end up getting in trouble with myself. I'm going to add just the shimmery. Either way, beautiful job. Bravo, Maya, for creating that. And that just sparked this special just something in me to want to come on camera and talk about my experience, because there are a lot of things missing from the online spaces and even in the body positivity, neutrality, and all of the things work that I have bared witness to. What I have not seen, at least to the people that I'm subscribed to, because I'm not even trying to get into all of that, but what I have not seen is just a true conversation around healing the harm caused caused by diet culture in their content. Now, this is to the ones that I'm subscribed to. I do follow creators that like mainly focus on fashion, so that's likely and possibly the reason why. Shout out to Maya, because she's also used her platform to advocate for justice. And like, we're both a Libra moon, so like us just being synergized just feels so right on today of all days. Like, it just feels like, of course, or at least that's how I feel. The timing of that was just so bravo, and her artistry is just incredible. That girl can draw, she can dress the girls, and she been dressing the girls longer than the girls been dressing. She been dressing the girls for longer than the girls been dressing, okay? I've been inspired by her content of just finding herself through expression, and have been moved and charged to do the same, which is how I finally got to what feels like a winning point with finally posting a YouTube video. Now there's yet another media example, which is what she created. I think she said she was journaling. I'm not particularly sure. And then it's also the full moon. So like, girl, let's release it. It's perfect timing. I had to come up here and recognize that I think on my platform, I also need to talk about the things that feel very, very scary. I'm a therapist who lives with depression. And one thing about me, I know that depression can go into remission. And I've had that happen before. So I don't think this season of depression is going to be with me forever. But if it is, live with it. I am a therapist with lived experience of trauma. I'm a therapist with lived experience of subscribing to maladaptive behaviors such as extreme dieting and things of that nature. And I'm a therapist who is healing. And part of what draws me to really deepen my embodiment work this particular season is that authenticity is just so important to me. And again, I'm a Libra man. And so with that in mind, I've been feeling more called to share about that, even though it feels super scary. I hope this makeup looks okay for real. I feel called to still wear my glasses just in case this ain't eating, because I really didn't get to prep the skin the way I want to, and I am kind of all over the place even though I'm talking y'all through it. We need something to melt this together. I'm a therapist who is experiencing life too, and when I'm supporting my clients through their stuff, there are times where I identify that I too can benefit from applying these concepts to myself, because I do not have it all figured out. And even my clients, I don't have it all figured out for them. We figure it out together. And so I'm thankful for my therapist that helps me figure it out so I can help others figure it out for them, whatever the it is. And we doing the best we can with what we got.
I do the best I can with what I got.
It was so heavy on my heart to share that I just grabbed my camera. You know, like that lady who be grabbing everything? It was on my heart to share this art. And if you have made it through the end of this video, I just put a heart in the video because healing is hard. Healing is hard, but it's such a privilege. If you really think about it, it's such a privilege to get out of what is survival mode and just be able to sit with self and recognize that we have other needs. It's really a privilege, and I'm thankful to be able to do that and to help others do that. And we just gonna keep doing that because we deserve to feel free. We deserve the liberation that comes on the other side, period, to freedom. Okay, it just look a little different this time. And that's all I have for today. Today B is, it looks QIRL, and I'm finna throw something on so I'm not any later, because that is crazy.
The time is 5:39 p.m.
39. Oh, I cannot believe I'm this late. I hate being late, period. Being this late is so embarrassing. So embarrassing. I low-key want to keep this dress on, but I have like switched out my season. I reorganized my kitchen early. But that's today's look. If you can relate to unlocking another level of your healing journey, say yeah with a heart in the comment. Yeah. Is there something spicier that we can do? If you can relate to unlocking another level in your healing journey in 2024, say hashtag healing hobby. Because shout out to Megan Thee Stallion. I'm still in awe of her concert. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go out. Bye.